What's up, guys? Coach Jay coming at you for our how-to today. We're going to be talking pertaining to mobilization. We're going to be talking about joint distraction. So what is that? That's a fancy word for saying that we're going to create space in the joint. So a lot of times we have some joints that are very crowded, like our shoulder and our hip. A lot of times if there's some sort of muscle imbalance or tightness going on, they can start crowded and become even more crowded, and it can result in a lot of things. There can be labrum tears, there can be just pain, discomfort, things of that nature. So distraction is just a way of saying that we're creating space in that joint. You can even just do that, like let's say with your shoulder. One easy way to do it is just let that arm dangle, and you can literally just rock it back and forth, and I'm creating space in my shoulder joint with that. That's one easy technique there. I'm going to show you a few more advanced techniques using some band work so that you can also continue to apply that. Now the caveat to this, guys, is if you're tight, I would say go to your static stretching first, go to your foam rolling first, because distraction will not help you if the tissue quality is not where it needs to be. If you still have fascial issues, if you still have tight muscles that are overworking that need stretched, distraction might not be the immediate go-to and the immediate answer. So you want to take care of those other issues first before you go to the solution. Also, if you are hypermobile or you find that you already have instability, it's not necessarily tight, but it's unstable, you might not want to jump into joint distraction first. So guys, please, if you're interested in using these techniques, come consult one of the staff members so we can advise you properly. So first I'm going to show you a few examples of what to do at the hip, and then I'm going to show you some that you can do for the shoulder. So looking at the hip, we're going to start with one approaching from a piriformis glute stretch. So I'm going to lay on the ground. I have a band anchored like so. I'm just taking my leg through, crossing it over. And again, all that's doing is pulling my femur, the top of that head, out of my hip joint and creating a little bit of space while simultaneously getting that stretch. A couple more you can do. One is a hip flexor stretch. So stepping through. Okay, so going into that hip flexor stretch, this is just going to accentuate that a little bit more. Okay, I can do this without a band to get a nice good stretch in that back hip flexor, but if I want a little more pressure to help pull that bone forward, I can allow that band to pull me like so. And then last, I'm going to show you a pigeon pose. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, hook it high up on that femur, bring it down and go into that pigeon. And you have to find those sticky spots. It takes a little more personal experimentation to find those tight spots and that jamming in the joint. So just play around with that, hold that, see where it's a little uncomfortable, and stick in those spots. So there's some for the hip. Going onto the shoulder, we're gonna move over here. Okay, so a 4-way banded shoulder distraction. First one, I'm gonna hook like so, and I'm just gonna go into a kneeling position and allow the band to pull. Again, all I'm doing is creating space in that shoulder joint like so. I'm allowing that to pull there. Looking at the anterior, the front, this also allows you to get a nice good stretch so you can kind of get 2 in 1. I'm gonna flip that hand up and turn away. And again, I'm creating that space. Just now I'm getting a nice good stretch on the front, the anterior side of that shoulder joint. Next is an overhead stretch. Setting into this, I'm gonna get closer to the anchor. I'm going to punch overhead, and then I'm just going to walk into it and find that sticky point. And again, I'm going to search around for where those friction points are, where it's a little hard to get to. I'm just going to chill on that, okay? If I start flaring my ribs or I start compensating somewhere else in my body, I'm going to stop at that spot. Okay, so let's say here I get stuck and then I start doing all kinds of weird stuff here, right? I'm just going to stop there, wait for it to settle, wait for it to relax, and then step into it. Another technique you can use, you can apply a little bit of pressure for 8 to 10 seconds, and then after that release, and it should allow you to get a little more range of motion there. Last with these 4, okay, now I'm stretching out the posterior capsule here on the back of the shoulder. I'm just gonna take my back arm, place it over the capsule that we're stretching, and rotate away from it. So I'm getting a nice good stretch. And all of these stretches, I'm simultaneously stretching the muscles involved, but I'm also creating space in the joint itself. So there you have it, guys. There's some easy takeaways. Again, these may or may not be applicable to you. So come talk to a staff member and we can give you some further guidance on that. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you.